We're in the middle of the dressing room, would you believe? Sorry about the setup, it's just the way it is. Okay, we'll crack on with Jeremy Langdon, please. Sky Sports News.
David, hello, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Can you just move a bit closer?
Yeah, congratulations on a great knock today. I was just wondering, how much did local knowledge help you on a ground which is so dear to you, of course?
Absolute zero, I must be honest. That wicket played so differently to what I was used to. I was used to being, slow but a lot easier to time on. So whether that was me or the wicket, I don't know. Could be a bit of both, but it was just really nice to be back home. We played a warm-up game here last year and I got naught. So it was quite nice to get off the mark this time.
Tell us about the innings, 55 from 40, but it was a struggle initially before you cut free. I mean, how tricky was it out there for you?
Yeah, I found it really hard, especially the spinners. You're not really used to spinners bowling that slow in 2020 cricket. They took all the pace off and it was just really hard to hit through it, especially the left arm spinner. There was a big boundary to the one side with the wind, so it wasn't really an option to take him on that side. So, I thought we actually played him quite well. I think the bowlers set it up, which allowed us to be able to take a bit of time. It's not that we wanted to take time, but it just sometimes it happens that way that, every time you get a partnership going or something going, you lose a wicket and you have to rebuild again. So it was just one of those days, but, thankfully we got over the line. And I think especially with the short boundary to the one side and the wind, you sort of back yourself to be able to catch up. You're always one over away from sort of sealing the game, and that's the belief that we had today.
David, that was your 18th T20, 8 half centuries and a century. You're the top-ranked ICC T20 batsman. Can you explain your renaissance as the king of T20 batsmen?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the king. I think there's a few kings out there, King Coley and guys like that. But yeah, look, it is nice to have that. It's not something I think about. It's not something I really worry about. I said before the series, it doesn't guarantee me a place in the team. It doesn't guarantee you runs. So it's something I look back at the end of my career really fondly. So my aim is just to become a fixed position in this team, and that's my aim. And the only way to do that is to win games of cricket, not necessarily score runs, but win games of cricket for England. So, that's my aim.
Just finally from me, another series win, of course, and 11 months out from the World Cup. What do you think this performance says about England's credentials for next year?
Yeah, look, I think coming off the 50 over World Cup, I think the core that played in that, are obviously, well versed in winning something. They know what they need to do to build things up. So if the rest of us can chip in and we can get something going and get a bit of momentum going up to this World Cup and keep winning series and keep winning these type of tight games, I think that will put this team or this squad in good stead for a World Cup. I think it's too early to say whether you're favourites or not, and I don't think you ever really want to say that you're favourites. So if we can just keep winning every game we're playing and keep winning the big series, I think that will put us into good stead preparation-wise for the World Cup.
Thanks and well done.
Okay, we'll go Stefan, BBC, and then Dean Wilson from The Mirror.
Hi, Dawid. Well batted.
Thank you.
You said that local knowledge wasn't necessarily a help, but how special was it to play that innings on that ground?
Yeah, it was nice. It would have been fantastic if we could get a crowd in, get my parents and things in. It was actually funny enough, when I was fielding on the one side of the ground, my high school coach was one of the guys throwing the ball back. And then in the stand, there was a guy that when I come back to South Africa to visit my parents, he's the guy that helps me out and throw me balls. So I had two guys that actually play quite a big role in my cricket, watching at the ground in some capacity. But it would have been nice to have a full crowd and have my parents here. But, it's always nice to come back. It's far and few between that I can come back to Pal. So it was nice to come back, play here, and especially at this ground.
You've said it a few times when asked about being the number one batsman in the world that it doesn't guarantee you runs and it doesn't guarantee you even a place in the side. But it must give you some confidence when you walk to the middle. Yeah,
it does. I think the way the rankings work, it sort of highlights consistency, and I think that's something that I've been really proud of myself, and I've been able to be consistent in this team. It's not easy to break into, and the only way you can break in is by scoring runs as often as you can. So from that point of view, I'm really proud of that. And as I said, it is something I am proud of, but it's something I don't really want to think about. because, you know, when you start getting too far ahead of yourself, this is a great way of bringing you back down to earth.
And just on a wider point of view, we know that England are trying to build to the T20 World Cup next year, but it is 12 months away, and T20 series, they can be reasonably few and far between. So how much does momentum now count for what happens in 12 months' time, and can you build it when the internationals don't necessarily come that quick together?
Yeah, so I think, I could be wrong, but I think before this series there was 17 2020s, and there might be maybe 19 or 20 now with the Pakistan ones that have been added. You know, so that's actually a lot of 2020 cricket, considering in 5 years I've played, 15 or 16, something like that, games. You know, considering that you have that amount of games in a year is a lot of cricket. It's a lot of time that we'll spend together, you know, as a group. Although this group of white ball players has been around for the last 5 years. So, you know, the more you spend time together, the more you win series, the more you win close games, the more you learn about each other, the more you trust each other. And I personally believe the more you trust each other in white ball cricket, whichever format of the game, that's when you sort of have that one step that you can look at your partner and know he's got this. And I think that's what you learn by winning games and winning series leading up to World Cups.
Thank you.
Okay, Dean, and then Rory, please.
Yeah, hi, Dawid. You touched on it really there, where you talk about trust in each other. I mean, the fact is that the match-winning partnership was between you and the captain, 51 together. How important is that in terms of your relationship and doing it with him watching you up close and personal, getting the job done? I know you played for Middlesex together, but England international cricket's a bit different.
Yeah, it is. I think if Morton know by now, there'd be one of us is doing something slightly wrong with the amount of cricket we play together. But we actually do. Well, I really enjoy batting with him for the reason that my strengths are probably his weaknesses, and his weaknesses are probably my strengths, or vice versa. I might have said that the same way, but you know, so if he gets going, where they're bowling to him, just shut him down, opens up the areas that I like. And if I get going, when they bowl to him the same way as they would to me to shut me down, that opens up his areas. You know, we've had a couple of good partnerships so far, but you're right, he's the man that matters. You know, you can talk about the selectors and you can talk about coaches and what have you. Morgan is the one that matters in who plays for his team and how the way they play. You know, so to do it and to win games of cricket, you know, I'm really disappointed that I didn't finish that game off, because that's, you know, especially when you take it that deep after struggling, you want to be winning games of cricket. So, you know, but.
Hello? Is he frozen? Can you hear me?
Right, go ahead.
Yeah, just following up from that, Dawid.
Can't hear now.
When you're talking.
One sec, Dino. Danny's not really prepared at the moment. It's disappointing.
Well, I'm blaming Cricket South Africa. Anyway, that's another story. Go ahead.
Yeah, just following up on with that, the way you said you wanted to be there at the end, but actually the way that you were playing, that was the key over. You had to try and take Ngidi down. You did just hit a 4 and a 6. You're going for it again. Isn't that the kind of attitude and approach that Owen really respects?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, I played a lot of 2020 cricket. I think the first 100 games I played was sort of just you sort of feeling your way into it. Whereas that second 100 games that you play, you actually learn the crucial times in the game. You know, it doesn't always come off. You know, it doesn't mean that you're going to win the game or stuff like that. But to know when to go, when to take someone down, which guy to target. I mean, you're looking at, you know, Nokia was the guy to target from that end, and everyone bowling from that end that Ngidi bowled from. They were the overs to go, because we were, as lefties, we were hitting with the wind to a shorter boundary. You know, and as I said, when I'm going, I quite like to hit over the offside if they give me width, because that means I can open up both sides. So they bowled there to me towards the end, which is, you know, probably more my strength. You know, so it's sort of, I'd say that experience does come in handy to some extent of when you're taking guys down, who you're taking down, and the time you're taking them down, because that's, I think, more important. Especially 2020 cricket, you're 1 over away. You know, you could be 50 or 30 needed to win, and you're 1 over of 20, and you're literally bossing the game. So, yeah, sorry, I've got off tangent a bit there.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go with Rory, last one.
Dawid, you talked about the spinners bowling unusually slowly. Anric Norkia certainly wasn't doing that. He gave you a couple of sharp ones, a couple of nasty ones early on. Did that get you going and get your beans going?
Yeah, I really don't mind fast bowling. I don't really mind, as long as it doesn't hit me in the head. I don't really mind getting hit. I actually found, because I actually played with him in the MSL here. You know, so I faced him in the nets and so on. But you know, on this wicket here, I found when his short balls weren't really getting up. So usually when Rabada and Gidi were bowling short balls that you would probably duck, they sort of went up and you could sort of get underneath them. Where his, a bit like Mark Wood, they just keep coming at you. So it took me a bit by surprise, and sure, even if I was waiting for that, it probably hit me either way. But I didn't play it very well, I must admit. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.